question come up this morning from a parent in the school refusal parent group, that we have online on Facebook. A question Tracy asked this morning. She just basically asked, and I'm paraphrasing this, but she asked about how to respond when your child has some negative self-statements, some awful statements, like, you know, I look awful, or I hate myself, or say is for parents. Because I think we got to be careful, and this is something that I talk to parents a lot about, is I think that when your child says something or they do something, is not to get totally pulled into that. I mean, I think certainly you want to just validate your child and just be with them and connect with them and say, you know, I can totally hear you, I've got you, you know, I can see that you're having trouble this morning, and just validating kind of their concerns. You know, I hate myself, I don't look good, that kind of stuff. Where's that coming from? You know, is your child getting up and worried about how he or she may be dressed, and worried about how you know, their peers maybe react to that? You know, where's that statement coming from? I think is the first part. And I think the second part is not to get pulled into it. You know, so like you want to change it, like, oh, you don't hate yourself, or, you know, oh, you look awesome. I mean, I think you can just generally say that, you know, I think you're a beautiful girl, or whatever it would be, but trying to convince them that she's a beautiful girl, or however it might be too much during that point. I think where I go to with parents and some of these things is I think you got to know just the situation, and what would you do in the short term versus what would you do in the long term. For the short term, you might just you know, just validate that it sounds like she's having trouble this morning, and you know, maybe trouble picking out clothes and that kind of stuff, and reinforce that you think she's beautiful, but you know that you can't convince her that she's beautiful, that she's really got to think that herself. But then I would also go to you know, long term, how do you help your child develop and build some self-confidence? And obviously that's not something that you can do for your child, that your child has to do that on their own. But I think you can make certain things available to try to support and encourage. But in the end, as a parent, you really have to know your limits. You have to know your limits and understand that some of these things that you want for your child, you just can't give your child. I think you can be there emotionally and physically for your child, but just know that you can't. The more that you try to do, and the more that your child pulls back, maybe that might be working against you. So just give them some space, love on them, tell them you love them, tell them that you think they're beautiful, and then just back off and kind of see where they go with that.